Happy New Year, guys. Marten here with a Sunday update. And we get a nice little rally going on here for some of the major cryptos. And the big winner today is Litecoin. So we'll definitely have a look at that one today, but also Tron and Ethereum. But let's begin here with the total altcoin market and see where we are at the moment. And this is the 3-month short. And we're trading currently around 67 billion. So we're trying to get up here to the former peak around 72 billion, 73 billion up here. And we don't have a lot of resistance in this area. So that is potentially a positive sign here for altcoins. Also, we're following this supporting trend line right down here. And then we have perhaps a trading channel here. So an upward trend line right here. Now let's move over to the weekly chart for Ethereum, and Ethereum is up 13% for the week. This is the candlestick right here, and so far we made a higher high and a higher low compared to last week, this one right here. And if we will close near the top here, that should be bullish for the next week starting tomorrow. And we do have some a little bit of resistance up here around 167, but the major resistance starts up here where this blue box starts around $190. And also the supporting weekly trend line, if we were to follow this one, the next week's low, that would basically be at 138. So that could mean that we could get a little bit of a pullback during the week, but we'll see. The daily chart, so we're still following this daily supporting trend line here. Looks untouched at the moment here, but we are about to have some trouble here. It does look like we will form a similar candlestick like we got yesterday, and that was a doji sign. So make sure to follow how this day will close here for Ethereum. Hopefully we can go higher here during the last hours and perhaps take out yesterday's high, which was, let's see, 161.20. Now we should talk some targets here to the upside. During next week, I'm looking at target 1 here, that is this blue box right here. And that starts around 172, and basically that is this old support, or actually old resistance that we had here from November. It's not a lot of resistance, but still it could be enough for a peak. But let's say we were to just smash through this resistance right away, then we could definitely head up here to my second target, which is up here at 208, this blue box up here. And these corresponds here with the resistance 1, the pivot level, pivot point, and also the R2 here. So these are important levels, and this upper one corresponds with the breakout we have here in November. This was November 13th here. That's when we broke out to the downside. So what could happen here is that we will head up here and retest this important area. Now let's look at the 8-hour chart for Ethereum here. So obviously this trend line is still holding here, but what could be forming here is a rising wedge here with the lower trend line right here and then the upper trend line right here. So it remains to be seen here if we will get a breakout to the upside here coming perhaps tomorrow. On the other hand, if we were to break down here to the downside, you should watch this trend line right here, and then we do have the next support, as we mentioned earlier, around $140, 138 or so. So tomorrow will be very interesting here for the next development for Ethereum. So far we do have a double top here. That's what it looks like, both on the daily chart and here also on the 8-hour chart. So watch this continuation here from this current candlestick, which will close in about 2 to 3 hours from now. Also, let's have a look here at the stochastics down here. If this one were to break out here to the upside, that could give us a lot of momentum here. So that would mean that we could have some ammo left here for another leg up in the near term. Now let's have a look at the daily chart for Tron. We got a nice breakout here from this bull flag here, or this bullish triangle here we formed during the last week. So we really got a breakout here on January 2nd, and also a nice continuation here during the last 3 days. And the volume has been pretty good as well, clearly above the average here. And it does look like we do want to take out this, first of all, this current peak at 2.43 cents right here. So we're really at that level right now. But this former peak, that's the one right here. So that would be a target 1 here at 2.5 cents. And if that were to be reached here, then we do have the second target, which is up here at 2.8 cents. So that would be an additional 13%. But that's not a lot for a crypto like Tron. So keep out for those levels here coming up next for Tron. And on the 8-hour chart, we have had a small breakout here from this last bull flag, as you can see right here. Lower trend line and upper trend line, and here we got the breakout, testing this pivot point, and then sort of penetrated the pivot point here, but it sort of pulled back again. And this formation here could also be seen as a couple handle, so that this would be the cup here, and then sort of the handle right here. So an 8-hour close here above 2.4 cents, that would be up here in this area. That could potentially be a bullish sign here, and also definitely check out this peak here at 2.42. We definitely want to head up in this area. However, we could also form a double top here. This looks like an M formation, so beginning of M. You see this formation here. So it's a tough call at the moment. But also be aware of the social buzz going on. And I want to show you a webpage here called solium.io. So here it is. And this is these are the cryptos with the most social buzz going on. And Tron is right now on the 6th place here. But what's really interesting here is that this column here is the social volume change in the last 6 hours. And what we can see here is that Tron has decreased 8%. So this could be an important indicator here. And let's go back to the chart here. So keep that in mind here if this will be a double top. So just wanted to show you that. Now let's move over to the daily winner, which is Litecoin, and it's up 23% for the week here. Very nice move here today as well. And Litecoin is right now up 11.5%. So the first major move we got, that was yesterday. And then we formed this nice candlestick right here. But the breakout that began already on Wednesday. This candlestick right here, so we broke out from this resistance trend line we had right here. I'm going to show you that right now, right here. But then we retested this more or less, this breakout area here on Friday, but then we just shot up here. So very strong move for Litecoin. Now let's talk some targets here to the upside. I do have my first target, this blue box up here, at $41, and that corresponds here with the resistance we had here from November. Not a lot of resistance, but still it is resistance. But let's say we were to smash that, then we could head up here to this next target 2 at $54 or so. That's this blue box here. And this area corresponds with the breakout we had here to the downside, and this was on November 8th. So same thing here for Litecoin, that we could retest this area. So basically same situation that I showed you for Ethereum a little bit earlier here. But we do have a very steep supporting trend line here, and if this one were to break to the downside, we could definitely head down here to this support that we do have down at around $33. So finally we're going to have a look at the 8-hour chart. And what's been going on here is that Litecoin has been above the Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band, for 5 candlesticks in a row. So that is a very strong move, but these things don't last forever in the short term. And as you can see here, this current candlestick looks like a shooting star at the moment. So this could definitely be a sign of fatigue here. And we've basically done a doubling here since this breakout we had earlier this week. So if you compare these blue boxes here, this one is a little bit even stronger than this one. So clearly a little bit higher than a doubling here. Next I would look for a higher high and perhaps a lower high coming up here during the next candlestick. So that could indicate that this current bull run is over in the very short term for Litecoin. So then I would basically look for a lower high, but you could also set a stop loss here below 38 or so, below this candlestick, if you were trading this in the short term. Also, you could head over here to Solium.io and check out Litecoin as well. Litecoin is on the 4th place here, and the social volume change for the last 6 hours is actually positive here for Litecoin, plus 25%. So this is different here from Tron, which is negative. So it's always interesting to have a look at some complementary tools besides the regular trading charts. And basically that's all I have for this Sunday evening here. But also check out our homepage, altcoinboss.io. Check out the latest news. And talk to you later, guys. Goodbye.